Filipinos could expect so much changes for the most polluting river in 2026. For decades, the Pasig River stood as a grim reminder of the negative impact of over-urbanization. Once hailed as one of Asia's most beautiful rivers, it slowly deteriorated into one of the dirtiest. However, in recent years, this river has undergone so many changes. Just this year, there have been massive beautification initiatives. With its beautiful Esplanade, it almost resembles a touristy riverside in Europe. This dramatic turnaround has surely gained worldwide acclaim. But the Philippines isn't stopping there. Its government had laid some plans for next year, so the effort to restore the river would maintain its momentum. It had promised that next year would be the best year yet for the river. Before we dive into these grand developments, let's first get to know the river better. Pasig River is the major body of water in Metro Manila that connects Laguna de Bay and world-famous Manila Bay. It stretches for about 27 kilometers, with an average width of 91 meters. During the Spanish period, it became the city's main transport route. We may call it Manila's very first highway. Galleons and barges once sailed through its waters, loaded with rice, sugar, coconuts, and timber. These goods powered the capital's early progress. Deservingly, it earned the title as the Queen of Rivers. But that royal beauty didn't last forever. Had the river asked a magic mirror on which is the fairest of them all, the response would be brutal. She's the ugliest of them all. As often with the case of nature being sacrificed in favor of progress, the same fate happened to the once majestic Pasig River. The slow death of the Pasig River didn't happen overnight. It was a product of decades of neglect. As far back as the 1930s, this river began to decline. It no longer served its initial purposes. Locals were no longer able to catch fish, and families no longer bathed in its waters. Even ferry boats that once carried people and goods quietly disappeared. As time passed by, the Philippines became more progressive. But this rapid urbanization had a cost. By the early 1990s, the river was officially declared biologically dead. Its waters turned dark and lifeless, thick with pollution. Experts tested it and discovered that the coliform levels were far beyond safe limits. The river became a carrier of disease rather than a source of life. Most observers believed that this river had no hope. But the Philippines thought otherwise. Slowly but surely, they've made some progress in restoring the majestic beauty of the Pasig River. Through the years, it saw some success. Where its surface was once choked with trash, it has now begun to breathe again. Thanks to the sustained cleanup efforts of various organizations, the waste has been dramatically reduced. Now let's get back to our main question. What are the things that are lined up for this river next year? Foremost, the Pasig River is set to be transformed into a fully functioning water highway with the launch of the Pasig River Intermodal Transportation Project. Why is this important? Well, as former President Duterte has reiterated, the river needs to serve a real purpose for it to become part of city life again. That's why he initiated the revival of the Pasig River ferry system. More than just a convenient way to get around, the ferry system was created to help ease the heavy traffic that constantly clogs Metro Manila's main roads. Sadly, this ferry system is underutilized due to a lack of support from various stakeholders. But the Philippine Ports Authority has announced that it will launch an improved version late next year. This would be inspired by Venice's iconic public water buses, known as the Vaporetto. Commuters will have a better option for traversing the metro. Once implemented, ferries will glide from station to station along the Pasig River. Curious on what its impact would be? Well, it would greatly reduce travel time. From an exhausting 3-hour journey, it would be minimized to just more than 30 minutes. Another innovation for this ferry system is that it will use 2 types of ferries. A regular end-to-end service will run the full length of the river. Meanwhile, more personalized water taxis can also be booked for direct trips to specific destinations. Talking about Grab, but in the river. One of the most common complaints about the previous ferries is that they're not properly ventilated. Hence, this will be addressed on the new system. For comfort, all ferries will be air-conditioned. Another great news for this development is the potential use of the country's first electric passenger ferry, which is locally made. The first model is named as MB Dalaray. It's powered by a 160 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery. and can travel more than 45 kilometers while cruising smoothly at 8 nautical miles per hour. It also utilizes green energy to power its interior lighting and air conditioning. Experts point out that the Pasig River ferry system is an ideal proving ground for this technology. Due to relatively short routes and constant proximity to riverbanks, it would be easy to access charging stations. Any effort to clean the river is useless if it wouldn't be maintained. Hence, the Philippines will be turning to a more high-tech approach to maintain its health. They'll be using the ClearBot. This is a solar-powered, AI-enabled robotic vessel designed specifically to clean the Pasig River and its esteros. Instead of relying solely on manual labor, this smart machine patrols the waterways on its own, identifying and collecting floating trash and invasive plants with precision. It's like having a river personal cleaner minus the labor costs. One of the best things about this robot is that its autonomous system allows for faster, more efficient cleanup operations. By deploying this technology, the government signals a shift toward modern, sustainable solutions. Finally, the Pasig River Esplanade is set to expand even further. When the Philippines opened its initial phases, it created some buzz. Suddenly, the river became a tourist attraction. It's now one of the most Instagram-worthy places in the city. But the good news is that under the long-term plan, the Esplanade will eventually stretch along both banks of the river. This would give the riverside a more modern look, enhancing the city's overall visual appeal. The river would no longer be seen only as a waterway. It would transform into a lively public space, a welcoming corridor where people can walk, jog, bike, and share moments together. In the end, the story of the Pasig River proves to the world that even what seems completely hopeless can be revived. What is needed is pure commitment to achieve the goal. In the years to come, the Pasig River will look more futuristic, but its timeless beauty will still remain. But what are your thoughts about this? We think that you'll love this next video. As always, see you at the next one.